Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone's weekend?
Good morning. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Aha moments? Wins? Come on, there's got to be one. Somebody with a win.
My win is decluttering still and letting go of the past. As much as we want to hold on to things that remind us of the past, we got to let go to grow. And it's not all bad, but we have to let go to do different things outside of ourselves. So if we keep holding on to things and using those things that we can delegate to someone else, just like I got rid of all my landscaping clothes. So, yeah, as much as it was like, well, hold on to one pair, you never know. No, I just let them all go.
Yep. It's interesting you say that because I had to do exactly all of that and be okay with it. So what does the future mean then?
That I'm changing. I will hire someone to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
It means
I
your
had to
time is more
release.
valuable.
Oh yeah, very. Yeah, so I've noticed that as well, that if I can delegate it and work on my goals, even though it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, I'm losing time by doing other things that someone else, and I'm paying it forward by they're giving a service and I'm paying them.
Yep. But also you're changing the way you think, the way you evaluate your time. The way you evaluate what you do, how you do it. Right?
Yes.
Recognition of yourself and what you do is the key to success. Recognition to the way you think is success. Somebody out there is not mowing their own lawn. Somebody out there pays someone else to do that. Somebody out there is running their own company, working on their company. They value their time by what they do. So the time that they're working on their company, making sure every hour that they're giving and doing everything on purpose to prove their value, to give them what they want.
Right. And like, yeah. And like you said, I found a guy that was mowing the lawn 2 houses down, and I stopped and I asked him, and he came and he did an excellent job, and it freed up my day.
Yep. Go do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because as much as we don't want to admit it, we don't like cutting the grass, but we still do it because we were conditioned to. You
Yep.
have to cut your grass. You have to take care of it. Yeah, the way that
Yep.
I was brought up, my grandfather.
Go buy the edger, the
Oh yeah, everything.
mower, all the tools, and become it. It's amazing when you really start to think about it. We don't even know what's moving us. We didn't even know that we didn't know. amazing when we start to really imagine, go beyond what we normally were. We begin to understand that our imagination was not us. It was actually given to us. Pick on their ideas. A lot of times make them completely our own without even imagining about it.
Yeah, and also, if anybody follows your page like I do, when you put on there The Secret Life, or not The Secret Life, The Strangest Secret from Earl Nightingale.
Yep.
I actually took 2 hours to dissect it, read it, and then I also found his video on YouTube. And it gave the simplest answer at the end. But it was position of looking for it and studying it and breaking it down. And it was still part of a study that I did for myself.
We're going to go through that here in a little bit. For now, we're going to go into our meditation. Want to relax? Relax your feet, legs, stomach, chest, let everything just flow. Release all tension, relax all muscles. Feel the energy flowing through your body, through and through you. As this energy is flowing from you, through you and through you, you can change it. Relax your jaw, neck, jaw, shoulders, arms, hands, from, to, and through you. Tongue, eyes, top of your skull. Remember, I am energy. I am mind. I am spiritual. The higher side of me will rarely be seen. I don't say I'm hand, I'm foot. I have a hand. I have a foot. I have a body. I live in a body. I have the ability to select. Change the channel of this energy. I change it by changing my thoughts, my mind, my energy, my body. my home, my family, my reality. I am spirit in formation. As you think of the word of love, passion. As you think of the word love, you go into it, you enter into the spirit of love, compassion. This colors your energy differently. Feel it. Love and compassion for the past, the present, the future. From myself to myself. From myself to myself. And everyone in the past. And in love and compassion. To the present and to the future. I release ideas that do not serve me. I keep my mind fixed. From and to my vision. I acquire it. Welcome back. The art of acting. The art of acting in a certain way. What do y'all think of when I say the art of acting? Acting in a certain way.
Act as if. That's it.
Well said. But that can mean so many different things for so many different demonstrations in consciousness. What's the root?
Act as if what you want is already here and what you are already exists.
Very good. So thinking from the end.
And then pulling your plots, places, and circumstances from that which you are and not what your present circumstances are.
Very good.
Which you want them to be.
Very good. So as we look at the circumstances, you don't look for what you do not see, you look for what you want to see. The average individual, you said it and we're going right into it. You don't look for what you don't want to see. You're going to see plenty of that. You must keep your mind fixed on what you want to see and how you will put that math together. How many people have a vision or a goal and they come back to where they're at and stop? You stop dead on your tracks because you don't see the how, you don't see the circumstances, but you don't look. I'll do it when never comes. Acting in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. I'm going to take a couple of keynotes from different distinguished writers. Determined imagination, thinking from the end, is the beginning of all miracles. The future must become the present in the imagination of the one who would wisely and consciously create circumstances. Thinking in a certain way. I have the ability to select the images that I will work with. I have the ability to choose and hold it with my will and act in a certain way. Thought is the impelling force which causes the creative power to act. Thinking in a certain way will bring riches to you, but you must rely upon thought alone, paying no attention to what? The circumstances, surroundings. That is the rock upon which many otherwise scientific, metaphysical thinkers meet. The failure is in connecting thought and personal action. When it comes to acting, they stopped. Majority of people say, I am, I do. When it comes to the doing, they let the action stop them. They let the action stop them dead on the track, and they go back. They revert back to their subconscious. They revert back to their old self-image. Angel, saying he's getting rid of all the tools. How many times did something want to cause you to revert back and no, let's put it up. Let's keep it. Let's keep it sitting there, just in case. Many times did the old man, the old way of thinking, want to revert back to himself. We're not just talking about physical things. The physical is a manifestation of the mental. And let's go back to where creation starts. It was mental before it was physical. So we leave the physical demonstration. That means we are still in the spiritual demonstration of it. And if we're still in the spiritual demonstration of it, that means we're not letting go of who we are. And you can never be two. There can only be one. You're either the old man thinking or the new one. Acting and thinking in a certain way. All month we're on Power of the Subconscious Mind. It's going to be a great month, as every month. But the subconscious is what controls every action that you do. As well, it could open up completely new doors that you've never known before. But you better know who I am is. Or you will see much of the same of what has gone before. I brought this to the attention on Facebook on The Strangest Secret, and I'm going to go through it. And we're going to go through it. And we're going to read, not just to read, but we're going to read to decipher. We're going to read to understand. What do we want to read to understand?
Gives us awareness.
Yep. And it's only through awareness that you grow. And you'll never understand a thing until you
Do it.
All right, we are transformers transforming ideas. That's all we do. Walk around and look around. We are transformers transforming ideas. Everything physical came after you thought it. Everything physical comes after you thought it. The question is, who is my imagination? What am I thinking about? Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is a section in The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Let me tell you the story of what we might call the average young man in our society. From the time this boy is born, there's only one thing on this earth he can do, and that is to begin to think, act, and talk like the people by whom he is surrounded. This is all in the world he can do. Why must it be this way?
Genetic and environmental coding.
So that means a child is born every few seconds. Boy, girl, race, color. Around the surroundings, maybe a dad, maybe a mom, maybe both of them, maybe none of them. Maybe a friend, an aunt, or an uncle. Or maybe an institute. But a child is born. Genetically. From a male and a female. Environmentally, who knows? But the state of consciousness must take form from its surroundings. A state of consciousness must take form from a surroundings. If this child is born around average men and women, this individual becomes average. If this child, the spiritual consciousness, is born in poverty, he becomes impoverished. at the moment of birth. He or she must take on the ideas of the average ideas of everyone around it. So the beginning of our state of consciousness takes on the average ideas of the individuals around us and begins to think. And this was the starting point. Begin to act, talk, like the people by whom he is surrounded. This is all the world can do. But right off the bat, the odds are 95-5 that he is thinking, acting, and talking like the wrong group. They are wonderful people. They love him. They would do anything in the world for him. They want him to succeed. But the odds are 95-5 that they have not got the answers he needs if he is to reach fulfillment. As a human being, if he is to reach this success that he wants, if he is to reach into the deep reservoirs of ability and genius we know he possesses and draw it out, everyone says go inside, but do they really understand what it means? Thoughts, takeaways so far? That lawnmower? How many things do you do today that go back to your reasoning from the past? And you just acquired it and you took it on and never questioned it. How many things are you still doing today that you just accepted as truth? According to the environment you grew up around. Well, he starts in school. The most important thing to a boy in school is to be liked by other little boys in school. And so at this tender age, he begins to follow other little boys, his same age, who don't know any more than he knows, do not have his best interests at heart, and who do not necessarily have any capacity for friendship, for leadership. Why would they not have any true capacity for leadership? If he's born around average people, average things, average environment, average school, that the 95% do, and if you're around 95%, 95% are going to do the average thing. And yet if you live amongst the 95%, all of them are doing things in a certain way. What are the chances are that you've been around the 95%? You were trained and programmed by the 95%. Even the doctor finds himself within the 95%. Even the attorney finds himself within the 95%. Yes, a higher degree. But even they find themselves still within reach of the 95%. To still find the same group still within an arm's reach of each other. So what are the chances that you were programmed by the 95%? Thoughts, takeaways so far?
I believe we just follow each other because since our parents or whoever raised us, whoever programmed us, they didn't know any better, and they followed someone else. And as they're our parents, our guardians, we trust that they're guiding us in the right way. So we believe it for truth because we're like, our parents, our guardians won't guide us in the wrong direction. So it has to be true. What they're telling us is right. So
Well,
we
how many of us don't even question?
95%.
We just take it as truth. From the time this boy is born, there's only one thing on earth that he can do, and that is to begin to think, act, and talk like the people by whom he is surrounded. This is all the world he can do. This past week, we were in the seminar, and we talked about the why. Why do you do as you do? As a young man at 3 years old, I remember, and I asked there should be a place for consciousness when it arrives. At 3, there should be a place for consciousness as it arrives. It can help him remember who he is and what he's here to do. That's my why. That's what I'm building. There should be an organization, an Institute of the Mind. Some of them have a different memory. You think we're all here just to eat, sleep, drink? We're here for so much more. But this child is always born. A spiritual consciousness is born all around the world. And this is happening every second. Every few seconds, a child is born around the world just to take on what they do with no true understanding of who they really are. And maybe how many are born to never really know who they are? Look, from the time this boy or girl is born, there's only one thing on earth that he or she can do. And that is to begin to think. Now we take that word so simple. But to think means to imagine. To imagine. To think means to go beyond. But if your starting point is where it's at, many times it becomes the end. If you are not able to imagine beyond your circumstances, imagine beyond your frame of mind, if you're not able to change your frame of mind. This is the building blocks. This is the framework of your reality. And you'll stay within, the average individual stays within the framework of the average individuals they were around. Rarely to go beyond 30%. Majority fall within 10% of what their family was doing. Thinking as what their family was thinking. They keep 95% of their mindset. 90% of it. They change maybe 10%, 15%. Think about what, I did this backwards. If they're not willing to change and they can't let go of who they are and what they learned and what they were programmed to become, they stay 90% program. 85% program. Maybe 80%, they stay programmed. So that means the rest of your life, you have a 10%, 15, 20% window of opportunity to change. That means 80% of you, opportunities, people, options, you only have a 15% window to change. But so few people change because they can't rewire where they came in from. Because 90% of it is programmed. You think that you're thinking, but it's a program that's thinking. All that genetic environmental conditioning become one with you. And as you move, you're a thinking program. You're an imagination that's always cycling from what it knows to what it sees, from what it knows to what it sees. Your reasoning factor is going back and forth, looking at the current circumstances and going back to what it knows and to what it sees. And it is always regulating and adjusting itself. And that's why you're the center of all things. From what it knows and what it sees and going back and forth. But the imagination, if it never goes further than what it is, it will never see anymore. Why is this so important? Because it's your whole life. You're the center of all things. And everything that's heavier than air must take form from its center, your ideas. Now, right off the bat, the odds are 95-5 that he is thinking, acting, and talking like the wrong group. If 95% are stuck, that means 95% programming. Never to know who they are. Never to understand truly what potential they may have. If we think that we're physical, we'll never understand who we truly are. Because what we are is thinking for us. When the higher side of you was spiritual, you took all their ideas, and the body just moves. Thoughts, takeaways so far? Did I throw you guys through a loop? Some of you used to think in a certain way, kind of flipped that around, didn't I? That means 5%, you actually maybe create 5 to 10%. You rearrange an order, maybe 5 to 10% in a whole lifetime. That's wild when you really think about it. That the average individual only reorganizes reality, maybe 10, 15% of it, to see something new. The rest of it was just programming. That's why it's so hard to get out of yourself. Thoughts, takeaways. $95% of your day, we only normally use our imagination maybe 2 to 5% of the time. No wonder we can't get outside of ourselves. Why are goals so important now? Because it takes you completely out of the framework. A goal forces you to imagine outside of what you are. And goals were not to get there, were to grow. Goals are good for the soul. They purify the soul. When you set a goal and you have no clue how to do it, you're completely stepping out of those ideas. And it's going to force you to imagine. And you're not used to imagining. You're used to doing as they do. And if you continue to do as they do, you continue to get what they have. Accident or on purpose. Everything, if we start to understand everything was on purpose. For your definite end or for a program state of end. For your own vision or the vision of your self-image. You didn't realize that everything you were doing was on purpose. Yours or someone else's. No one has nothing to say. Angel, you're normally not scared to talk. You were talking, you're muted.
No, yes, sir.
You read this and you said you took 2 hours. Did I change this a little bit?
Yes.
We went to how many paragraphs?
I believe,
We went to,
what was it? 4?
yep. Are you seeing this differently now?
Yes.
How many of you read this? Anyone else read this? Big manual? Anyone else read this from this weekend?
I read it and I listened to it a lot of times. It's one of the passages that I listened, or one of the talks that I listened to a lot on YouTube.
Did you see this differently this morning?
Yes, I'm still kind of taking it in.
Yeah. When you start to really process this and you process it differently, you start to see all different things, all kinds of other things you weren't even noticing before. Processing things you would have never seen before. When your awareness shifts, everything begins to shift. Processing information. Now who's thinking? I just took you out of the 95%. Some of you felt a jolt. I took you out of your programming. Some of you are thinking in a different way. Some of you are able to see the program itself. Awareness is key.
Reading this was actually what helped me decide to get rid of the things, because I was doing as others did. You buy a house, you buy everything that goes along with it. And it was the dream, I guess, back in the 50s, 60s, because they didn't know any better. But we have changed, times have changed. We're far advanced from what we were back then.
Well, let's think
So
about
reading this is what
even
helped.
back then. Would you be willing to bet that there was still 3 to 5% that didn't do any of those things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill, all of them.
Yeah.
Bob Proctor.
They weren't doing as they do. I want you guys to really think about what we're talking about, because the subconscious mind is everything. It's your whole life. And if you don't understand it, it's just moving along. Creative force is working for you, always. Thank you, Angel. And you guys that thank you, Shannon, that are speaking up. There's only one way to grow. That's to change who you are. We're going to go into our meditation. You're going to relax. Relax your feet, legs, stomach. Chest. Feel your heart pumping. Pumping energy. Relax your shoulders, arms, hands, your neck. Feel the energy flowing. Jaw, tongue, eyes, forehead, top of your head. Feel the energy flowing from, to, and through you. From, to, and through you. Because this energy flows from you, you're selecting the images. You are choosing how energy moves. Remember, I am not the body. I have a body. I do not say am hand, am foot. I have a hand. I have a foot. I have a body. I live in a body. I came into a body. I will move out of a body. I am spirit information, and I can select the ideas. I can rearrange my thoughts. I can imagine beyond. We go to love and compassion for the past, for the present, for the future. The people in the past, present, and in the future. Love and compassion. I want your imagination to go into the future. Your new home, your new place. You have imagined this place. You have brought this forward. By remembering who you are. Letting go of what you are not. Go to the holidays. Beautiful people, beautiful minds, beautiful attitudes. Positive mindsets, positive growth all around you. Now go to the gift. The gift was working on you. The gift was repetition, understanding, reading, study, goal setting, goal creation. I did that. What services are you giving now? Receive the life that you have. Welcome back. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day as well, Abraham.
Thank you. Have a good day.